Hi everybody, this is Tom with Culture Chap. So, I hope you clicked on this video because of the title. So I'm going to call this You Can Tucci Too. You Can Tucci Too, about Stanley Tucci. So, what I want to talk to you about today is being your own little engine as far as like promoting yourself. So, we could look at other stars that have passed away, like Cary Grant and this and that, but in reality, we don't know much about them personally and all their habits and all the stuff they wanted to do. But we can take modern people and look at what they're doing now. Stanley Tucci. So he, I defy you to find anyone who doesn't like him. Everybody loves Stanley Tucci. It's amazing. It's amazing. And we're on his side. He brings an amazing breadth of variety to his career. You may not think so, but he fits into a lot of roles. He's done a lot of different things. Now, you may think of him as just a few different styles, but if you look at his whole career, there's a lot of roles there. There's also a very authentic, easygoing lifestyle. He's naturally funny. He's naturally talented. He seems to have this magic in certain roles where he's there and he's too much when you need him, and then he lays back, so he's not the focus of the film. If you're looking at the Kate Winslet, Alan Rickman film, A Little Chaos, he's in that film. We forget about him in that film, but he's got some funny scenes. They're not very long, but he doesn't take attention, which he could. He could just by being him. And it's not necessarily the directors or the way it was edited. It happens in all his films. When I need to take focus, I do. When I don't, I'm just another ensemble member. So, which is a wonderful quality. And I think that I won't say very controlled, but if, like you as a performer, you're asked to do so many things, but you're not always promoting yourself and promoting your variety, he's never too much. And you can do this. We just had a video about social media. Make social media, obviously that was a video about making social media work for your theater. What if this is a social media that's working for you? Now, you don't have to be on every platform, but what I'm suggesting is, as a performer, a director, a producer, whoever you are, let people know in that charming, effervescent way that you have a lot of strings in your bow. You have a lot of talents. You do many things. Tucci is a producer, an actor, a director, a documentarian. We forget about that. And a little bit of a screenwriter. And a book author now. So he never goes too far, but and he's not oversaturated. I'm not saying that you should oversaturate yourself in your market, but say that you're a director and you've been stuck, like I was for a little while, where none of the plays you're being asked to do went past the year 1900. That was fine. I was very happy to have the work, and I did some really good things, but I'd had to advertise what I wanted to do to other people so I could actually get there, okay? What if you're an actor and you never get a singing role? Or what if you're an actor and you never get to direct? And you have this passion project that you're thinking about, whatever it is, maybe it is about your background or the story of how your family got to America, or maybe it's the story of how your family fled from Africa several centuries ago, and now you are considered Spanish, but in your mind, you're not, you're Moorish. All these little things. And they're those stories that, if we don't speak up, they'll never be told. Maybe it's just 15 minutes of telling your story. Maybe it's just talking on the radio about, like, hey, we need more stories like this. Or, I would like to produce this. You may think of me as an actor. You may think of me as admin. But I would like to produce this story. I'm not a writer, but I know good theater when I see it and when I hear it, and I would like to help develop this story. You see, anything that you want to pursue, if no one knows about it, then how will you get there? Because theater is a collaborative art form. You need others. We all need others to help you get there. And the public needs to know in subtle ways that you do, as we say, have uh, many strings to your bow. That means many talents. Um, Again, it's not just grandiose self promotion. I'm not saying that. But do the radio shows, do these short videos on Instagram, do whatever it takes to let people know that you have other interests or you're doing other things. Or hey, like Stanley Tucci, I wrote a cooking book. You know, I explored my background through cooking. That's wonderful. Um, it's I'm going to get distracted by thinking about all the things that he does, but just look at his career and see what he does and all the things he's involved in and the way he's taking on roles. A little chaos. I believe the story is he said he wanted to be in the film. He loved Alan Rickman. He loved Kate Winslet. They asked him to be in the film, and he said, I don't have much time for whatever reason. And you don't have to tell the reason. I don't have much time, but luckily the theater, the film, the opera let me come in for just these rehearsals. And I was off book and I was ready to go. So the time that I didn't have did not matter because they were gracious enough to allow me to do my thing I had to do while doing this other thing, this small character role. So you don't always have to be the lead. You don't always have to be the director. You don't always have to be in your role. I know what you're going to say, that people in your community think of you with one label. That's a problem. It is a problem, especially when you are incapacitated for some reason. Maybe you're just getting, your foot worked on, but you're out of commission and you're on crutches for 2 months. So you're not in the musical dancing. You're not in this. It's we are creative creatures, and to sit and do nothing and cry because no one knows what you want to do, what your other interests are, or your other talents, it's because you've never exposed them. You've kept them to yourself. And even though a lot of us are extroverts, some of us are this weird combination of introvert extrovert where we don't want to be too much. We've seen those people in whatever role they have that are too much. They talk too much about themselves. They always have to be in the spotlight. And it's never authentic. It's always a performance. And you're like, I don't want to do that. Or I really like being an extrovert on stage or when I'm directing or whatever. But then I need to decompress and I need to be alone in my house. And that's how my creativity works. You're the one that isn't actually telling people the other things you can do. Do you see? Problem. So go out there, be a little more out there, however you want to do it. I think doing radio shows when you're promoting a show and you're promoting yourself, or you're just promoting yourself and saying, I have interest, or you're doing a little snippet for an advertisement on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, whatever you need. Just something a little bit about yourself, okay? And start to show what that is. So I would never call Stanley Tucci a braggart, but I do think that we all know what he's capable of. And we all know that he's talented. And he chooses the roles that he does carefully. So you never see him taking on something that he can't do. And some of us do take on those roles that we can't do. We can't quite sing the role. We're really a terrible dancer, but we volunteered for that show where it's all dancing and all singing. You can only do the singing, we can't do the dancing, and it's very evident that you didn't do your homework, that you didn't do your research, that you don't have the talent for that because you were not forthcoming about that. Okay? So careful with your career. Come forward with who you are and all your talents. Remember, we're trying to promote theater so they come to shows, but you're also the reason they come to shows. People follow actors especially. Oh, they're in that show? Oh, they're in a small part? It doesn't matter. Whenever I see them on stage, I love it. So you're your own promotion. We're always promoting theaters. Come to our show. How about come to my show as a nice counterbalance? This is important, okay? You can Tucci too. You can be talented and let everybody know in a lovely, authentic, polite, wonderful way. Okay, that's my message for today. Promote yourself. All right, we'll talk again. Thanks.